going to do for the next 50 minutes or so, I'm going to talk with you about just really answering the question, should a lack of experience hold you back from a healthcare franchise? Let me first of all say this. If you were to go out and start looking at all the different business opportunities that are out there, all the ones that are franchises or, like I said, business opportunities, because there is a difference between a business opportunity and a franchise. Just real quickly, franchise usually cost a little bit more. You've got support, you've got training. They're going to give you very specific marketing material that is probably really branded more with a name that's already known out there, like ServPro and McDonald's or Burger King or something like the Subway sandwiches out there that are already branded, and so that you're kind of buying into what they're already got out there. So that's why many times franchises can be a little bit more expensive, because you're really, like I said, you're kind of riding the coattails of their specific brand, and then you're just one of the local people there. Business opportunities are a little differently, which allows you the flexibility to own your own company, to have your own branding, and you can do some things out there, and it's not going to cost as much. And sometimes you don't get a lot of training. Sometimes you don't get a lot of support with business opportunities, because basically sometimes you just buy into a business opportunity, you get a box full of stuff, and they just say, here's your opportunity, here's a little bit of training, and then pat you on the back and really wish you the best. What ABS has done is kind of take a combination of both of those worlds. Is that although that we have marketing material that's very specifically branded to kind of be consistent, it also gives you a spot to where you can put your own name, your own logo, and everything else on it. Plus, you get training, live training, and a lifetime of support. Now, this is not just support on a website somewhere. This is real people talking with you. If you called up support today, you're going to actually get somebody, and you might need to schedule some time to have a little bit more time with them. But you can see it gives you a little bit of the best of the both worlds, and you're at the rate of where a lot of good business opportunities are, where it may not cost you a six-figure investment. It's still a five-figure investment of just under $30,000. So that's where all this kind of comes to play. So again, you don't have to be coming in this either from a healthcare background. You don't have to be a doctor, an office manager at a clinic, or a biller or a coder. We're going to take care of all that for you. So what I'm going to do here is kind of share a little bit of the things about medical billing. I'm going to give you some medical billing basics. I'm going to kind of go over some of the how billing actually works and a lot of this. So think of this as a kind of introductory to what it means to be in the medical billing world, or what we consider to be the revenue cycle management world, RCM. So you might want to write that down and jot that down. So I want to remind everybody that, again, you've got the question and answer box over there. I'm going to be monitoring that. So if you got any questions you need help with, throw those questions in there. Now, if I see a question there that I go, I know I'm about to get there with these slides, I may say, hey, John, I see your question there, but give me a few minutes. I'm about to get there. Or if I feel like it may need to be answered toward the end, I'll do that. But if it fits within the topic part of where I am, that's where I want you to get your questions answered, because specifically I might be in there and might be able to help answer those questions a little bit more in depth. So let's first of all start off with medical billing basics. That's where we're going to start off with, because that's where everybody's kind of jumping in this thing. This is a business in medical billing. What is medical billing? So let's kind of talk through this. And you heard me say a moment ago about revenue cycle management. That's what the doctors and the nurses and the office managers know what billing really is. Okay, so what I'd like for you to start thinking now, not just necessarily that you're going to become a medical billing company, but that you're going to become a revenue cycle management company. Because remember, you're a certified medical revenue manager. See, a biller just puts you in a pigeonhole that, oh, you just do billing. But you'll see here, through all the different services that American Business System brings to you to offer to your doctors, it hits a lot of different areas for revenue. Some of it's revenue savings, some of it's revenue generation. Obviously, billing is going to be part of that generation. Um, so you can see where I'm coming from. Some of it may just be a service that helps the doctors not get money pulled away from them or protects them from HIPAA compliancy issues. That's what I'm saying. So not all of it is going to be a big money-making part of it for the doctors, but it certainly could help them from losing money as well. Because currently, I can already tell you, doctors are already losing money. Now, if you didn't get a chance to watch my webinar that I had last week with Dr. Rachner, I would encourage you to go back over there and watch that webinar, because that's really hearing it directly from folks that have been a doctor and has had to do her own billing at one time. And then she finally figured out, look, I got to get this out of my office. I really want to have someone else do it. It's safer that way. They spend more time on the code or on the claims. They make sure that the claims are getting paid, because that's obviously in the end, that's how you as a medical billing company actually does get paid, because you get paid on a percentage of what you help the doctors collect. So let's jump right on here and let's talk about medical billing basics. So this is what you would consider to be the revenue cycle management wheel, if you want to call it that. So there's 1 through 5 on here. I'll go through these fairly quickly. But you have what's called data collections. That's the patient registration and the claims preparation. Folks, I'm going to tell you, so often claims we can already predict that claims are not going to get paid because patient registration ends up being a disaster. And what I mean by that is that if they don't get the right information into the system, by the time that you get it and you go to bill that out, that claim's not going to get paid just simply because patient's information is in there incorrectly. And that's why I encourage you to go get with your business coach here at American Business Systems and let them take you on a demonstration of the iClaim system. Because what you're going to find out from there is that the system itself can actually do a lot of that heavy lifting of getting patient registration directly from the insurance companies and actually imported into the billing system, so that you've got really information that the insurance companies should already have, and you're going to get it, and you're going to get it right the first time. That's why it's so important for data collections to get that done. That's an important part of revenue cycle management. Then the claims transmission, that's number 2 there. That's the actual part where you can kind of see some coding edits and procedures and diagnosis entries are put in there. And whenever I say coding edits, that actually happens within the system. That's not something that you're having to edit codes from the doctor. But there are 2 different types of codes that you're going to come across. There's one's called the procedure code. That's what or the diagnosis code. We'll start with that. That's the code of what's wrong with you as a patient. So why did you come in today? Well, I've got a sore knee, or I've got a bad cough, or a runny nose, or a sore throat, or obviously it could be some things that are more worse than those things there. But those are what's called diagnosis, is what the doctor diagnoses you with. Then that doctor, he or she, will then do a procedure. They're going to do an examination. They're going to listen to your lungs, listen to your heart. These are all part of what's called their procedure. And how much time that they spend with you and what they actually did during that procedure is what they're going to put down as the billing part of it to actually get reimbursed on. So it's a combination of their time and some of the things that they've done there that brings those 2 codes together. So they got a diagnosis code, they got a procedure code. Those 2 go together. That's what gets transmitted out. Then you got the claims management, the whole part of managing the claim. Did it get sent properly? Did it get received by the insurance company properly? Are we managing any denials that might be coming up through there? Kind of watching that through, because that kind of leads in right into the AR follow-up. Because if there are any denials, you got to fix those denials and get those resubmitted. And so if there's anything that you might have to make an appeal upon, to make sure that the doctor gets paid on that the doctor actually did this procedure and they need to get reimbursed on it. And then last you can see there is the reporting. That's where you're going to pull all of your reports. You're going to do all of your analysis for your practice. And then that's where your invoicing comes in to say at the end of the month, doctor, this is what I helped you collect. I helped you collect $100,000. this last month, I'm charging you 6% of that. So that's $6,000 that you owe me. So that's how you get all of that done. That's the way that it works there. So you can see that all of this is working in conjunction together. So every day you'll be doing a little bit of this throughout the day. How long will it take you to get through one doctor? It should take you no more than about 90 minutes to 2 hours to get through one doctor. So that kind of lets you know about really how long it's going to take you to kind of get through the revenue cycle management. Because every day the doctor's going to see anywhere from 20 to 25 patients a day. You'll always be doing collections, data collections and claims transmissions. And then the other days when you're not doing that, you're probably doing some claims management and watching that out and getting your reporting out. And then the next day you're putting in 20 brand new more claims. So you're kind of just going through this revenue cycle every single day. But so once you've got that down, you kind of see here, go, okay, I got the rhythm. It's working. I get it. And that's what we're going to teach you here, how to do every single step of every part of that. Now, I really want to kind of tell you what the difference is between a medical coder and really what a medical biller is, because a lot of people want to know, oh my goodness, if I don't know medical codes, because I just talked to my Uncle Joe the other day and I said, hey, I'm thinking about getting into medical billing. And he said, or, Aunt Susie says, man, I've know somebody that used to have to do medical billing and they had to know all these medical codes and everything. Well, to a sense, yes, you're going to over time learn codes. You're going to know what a 99213 is, and you're going to know what a diagnosis codes is for certain types of specialties. Some are going to be cardiac, type of diagnosis is. Some are going to be podiatric, which is going to be for your feet. You got all these different types of codes that are going to come through. And over a period of time, you're going to go, oh man, I know what that is. I know what this is. And oh yeah, but I think I see here a little bit in these notes that the doctor spent a little bit more time, probably ought to be billing a little bit higher code, or he or she is they're overcoding a whole lot, and I can might be able to help bring that down. But again, at the very end of the day, those are things that you're going to start learning over time. But what about here in the beginning? Sometimes you're going to need a professional coder, and we're going to help you with that. But a coder would typically take the doctor's notes and not have any codes on them. So a coder would have to read the doctor's notes and then go to all of the manuals and go to the charts and make sure whatever they're saying and go, okay, doctor must have, I got to put this diagnosis code in here, and the doctor talked to, oh, they got to put this diagnosis code in there. And then this is what the doctor did, and go, okay, I'll do my calculations. Okay, well, so it's going to be this procedure code, plus they gave an injection. That's another procedure code, and blah, blah, blah. That's what a medical coder does. Now, remember, you're not starting a medical coding business. You're starting a medical revenue cycle management business, okay? So what does the medical biller do? The medical biller would take basically what the coder has already coded and then actually input those. Remember, there was the entry of the diagnosis codes and the procedure codes. They're not doing the coding. They're just taking the codes from the doctor or from the coder and then literally doing that. So these are two separate types of people here. And we can help you with that first one there on the coding. But again, what is medical coding? In the very simplest part of it is turning words into numbers so that the insurance companies will pay claims to the physician. Okay, so what do they include? I've already told you what a diagnosis code is. This is really what the medical condition of the patient is. And the procedure code is, what did the doctor do? How did the doctor take care of the patient? What did they do within that office visit? So it could be a return, it could be a follow-up visit. There's a procedure codes for follow-up visits. There's all these different things. But at the end of the day, who is responsible for the codes? That's what we want to kind of get down to. Because if you're just a medical billing company, and you're trying to do it all on your own, you're thinking that you're going to have to know the codes. But in the end, who is responsible for the codes? It's the doctors who are responsible for the codes. That's who they are. Most doctors already know what codes that they're wanting to do. Many times their current electronic medical records system is already going to tell them what to code. We know that ours is already doing that. The iClaim and EMRX platform. If the doctor's using our electronic medical record system, it's already going to take the notes, read sort of the notes. There's some type of intelligence in there already to say, hey, the doctor saw the patient for this, this, and this. Here are all the diagnoses that the doctor's going to use. The doctor spent this amount of time, did this, this, and this, and it's going to spit out again the procedure codes of what the doctor's going to use. So it's not that you're going to have to go out and buy these big, thick books. And as you can see here, these come out every single year. So guess what you would have to do if you were a medical coder? You'd be probably already purchasing the 2024 CPT book and the ICD-9 book or 10 books, code books. So just you'd have these big old thick books. Now, would it hurt you to have these? I wouldn't tell you that it wouldn't hurt you to have these. They're not a necessity. As our trainer here at American Business Systems would tell you, a lot of this stuff is online. You can look up so much of this online now. But this is why we have CodeWrite. CodeWrite is a group of certified professional coders. Now, remember, this comes with you already as you begin your business. So if you're out there doing some marketing, let's say that you're at a luncheon after the first of the year, maybe you're going to do one before the end of the year. I can congratulate you on doing that. But let's say that you started talking with a doctor and the doctor saying, yeah, well, but do you do coding? You can absolutely say, absolutely. I have a team full of certified professional coders that will help you improve any of your codes up to an average of 15% of improvement. Now, where did I get that information from? To the left over there, you see this little slide there where I've got there where it says CodeWrite. Well, that's actually one of the flyers that you're getting from once you become a part of American Business Systems. You can see it stops coding mistakes, it's document review, real-time reports. Works within your already current workflow, doctor. So these are things that we can help you already. It can actually kind of help bulletproof your compliancy, as you can see there. So you can go in because remember, you're not the coder. And a lot of times you may not even be the biller, but you are the owner of a company that you can say that I already have these folks back behind me to do this, because obviously these codes will change throughout time. There's more codes that get added. There's some codes that get taken away. There are, not to get too deep in the weeds here, but sometimes you have to have modifiers with certain codes. And so wouldn't it be better just to have people that are ready to do that? We have that already for you. So that's what CodeWrite is all about. And that kind of goes right along with AuditGuard. If you need a doctor to help you with some, or you need some help with a doctor, maybe they want to do a preliminary audit on their own charts, they can do that. I'm going to tell you this, that I bet you 2 or 3, maybe 4 times a year, one of the insurance companies that they're billing to is probably already asking for a certain amount of charts to review. That's considered an audit, okay? So, and if they find something, they won't stop looking until they stop finding whatever they're looking for. And that can be really bad for a doctor, because what happens is that these insurance companies, especially Medicare, can do what's called a clawback and get money back because they say, look, we paid you too much because you didn't put in your notes that you spent 15, 20 minutes with this patient, but yet you're charging us this code here. See, that's why it's so important to make sure that ever so often you might want to do a spot check with your doctors and making sure that their codes are up to where they need to be. So this is a great asset for you. Now, again, you're not having to pay these professional coders a salary. You're just going to pay for what's needed. And a lot of times you're already building this into your medical billing percentages already, but some one-offs, the doctors will pay for that, because again, if you owned a medical billing company and you've got certified professional coders, there's a cost that goes with that. So the doctors don't expect you to do this for free. So if a lot of billing companies said, look, if you want us to do your billing and your coding, then this is what we're going to charge you. If you want me to just do just your billing, this is what I'm going to charge. However, if you want me to do your billing, but sometimes spot check, this is the cost to do these spot checks for your codes. And that's how it all works. Again, your business coach here at American Business Systems can go a little bit more in depth with you on that. But all medical codes are included and are always up to date within our system. It's all there. So you never have to worry about whether these codes that never have to go buy another book because all the new codes are already in our platform already. As I said, everybody, this is a fast hour that we go through. We're already at the bottom of the hour. We've got less than 30 minutes. So, okay, got some questions that are coming in, and hopefully we will help you get some of these questions answered. So this is from Van. It says, excuse my question. One, will medical coding or billing services will take over by artificial intelligence 1 to 2 years from now? I'll answer that. First of all, I do not perceive that artificial intelligence will ever take place of an individual doing medical billing or medical coding. Now, like I said, in our system already, EMRX has some intelligence in it already, but still, it doesn't mean it's 100% foolproof. It still needs an eyeball of an individual to take care of that. So, because I promise you, on the insurance side, they don't have artificial intelligence. They've got people there looking it over and auditing just about every claim that kind of comes through. Now, obviously, there's some automatic things that go through, but things get flagged. Someone needs to see it. They're going to review it. They're going to audit it. They're going to go through this. So I don't believe that artificial intelligence will take a medical billing company out of service. Number two, will this business work for part-time, such as I'm a realtor and also run a business, etc.? Is there any business owner running 2 or more different businesses and successes? Absolutely. Many people actually start this business just like you're doing right now. I know realtors, I know personal realtors that over the last few months, especially this year, some of them have gotten out of real estate. Things have changed there in the real estate business, but they're good professional people, and you know how to work and deal with people. So I think it's a great match for you. You could have this and be successful and do this part-time because, like I said, one doctor could generate you anywhere from $40,000 to $60,000 a year, and you would consider that part-time because really it's going to take you about 2.5 hours a day to do that type of work. So if you think about it, that's averaging what, $175 to $200 an hour if you kind of put it in how much you make per hour there. So yeah, I think it can be done part-time, and you certainly be able to do what you're doing with the real estate business. I think it would be a perfect fit for you. And then you know what? A lot of time we've seen a lot of real estate people get in this business, and this is taken over, and they don't even get back into real estate ever again. Medical billing training. So let me tell you what you're going to learn, because I wanted to make sure that we kind of laid out some of these basics. We talked about revenue cycle management, those 5 steps of revenue cycle management, what you're going to be doing. But, I wanted to kind of go in that whole coding every part of it, because it seems as though as long as I've been doing this and people getting this brand new, that question usually always comes up. Well, I don't know about coding and what am I going to do and how am I going to do that? I want to make sure that you knew that was covered, because ABS is really here to train you and make sure that you're successful in everything that you do here. So I'm going to go over that. We've got 10 training modules. So the quickest you could actually get through all the training is probably in about 10 days. That would be the fastest, but I don't recommend it. You want to take probably about a couple of weeks to get these 10 trainings in. Here they are. Now, at one point in one of our webinars that we've done earlier this year, I went into a complete in-depth of what training looks like. It took me a complete hour to go through that. As you can see, it could take me, I could spend about 10 minutes on each of these topics and still go over an hour's time. But what you're going to learn in Module 1 is obviously an introduction about the revenue cycle management part of it, what the practice workflow looks like, introduction into medical billing, and we're kind of taking a little bit of what we teach. I've actually already put it in the webinar today. So you already kind of have a little bit of introduction to medical billing already. But then we're going to go through an iClaim overview and EMRX overview. Now, Another way that you can go through that overview, again, is go through a demonstration with your business coach here. So that when you're coming into these training modules, you already have some of your training and understanding about it all together. Um, Matter of fact, if you just paying attention to a lot of these webinars that we talk about, many of these we talk about already. We talk about marketing, we talk about how to do business networking, we talk about how to work with sales reps, we talk about what's the practice analysis questionnaire, the results of that, dealing with proposals. So you can almost see that every aspect of training, we kind of share a lot of this stuff on the webinars already before you even become part of ABS. And that's why a lot of people who have attended a lot of our webinars and then they come into ABS and then they get to that final, more formal training, it's like, gosh, it kind of stitching all together. I can see how all of this is working, because what's going to happen in between these training classes that you're going to have, your trainer is going to have homework for you. This is not going to just be, hey, you're going to sit in front of a video here at ABS and hopefully you get the training. You're really going to have a one-on-one interaction with an individual who is scheduled their time to be with you during this hour, hour and a half time of your training. And that person's going to put you to work, because we want to make sure that you're learning what you just learned, and we want to make sure that you're demonstrating what you just learned, and a lot of times put into practice what you just learned. Because when you get into the marketing side of it, because obviously you're not going to do any billing until you have a client. So there's going to be some work that we're going to have you do during this training. So by the time you get through with the training, you'll probably already have a list of doctors that you already know that you're going to go after. You'll probably already contacted them. So you're well on your way. Think of your training as partially someone hand holding you through your first few steps of your marketing campaign as well, because you're going to, again, take some time to make sure that these things that we're teaching you are really being seeded within you, because that's what we want to make sure that you're walking away from. Because I'm going to share with something at the end of this webinar here, that you can attend all of our training and still have an option to get out. So I'm going to share with that with you in just a moment. But let's talk about the billing software training, because that's really good. Again, and to me, it's a very important part of what you're going to be getting. I'm going to kind of share with you a little bit about the iClaim EMRX platform as we talk about it, because it's a true 100% cloud-based integrated system. Now, obviously, cloud-based means it's on the internet, which means that there's nothing that you have to download or put a program on your desktop or your laptop. Why is that? Because we want you to have the flexibility to be able to do this from just about anywhere. Let's say that you're going to do some work at home today, so you may do some of your work on your desktop, but then you shut it down. But then you got to go make a visit to a doctor. While you're out there, you might have some more claims that you want to work on. So you pull over, you get into a coffee shop, you open up your laptop, and boom, everything's right there. There's nothing that you have. It's not an app that you put on. It's a secured website that you go to. It's a true cloud-based, and it's an integrated system, which means that nothing has to be pieced together. When you log into iClaim, you're basically logging into EMRX, and you're also logging in and have access to the patient portal. And then obviously, what I think is one of the most important parts of medical billing is the clearinghouse in and of itself. You're not even having to connect to a clearinghouse, because our clearinghouse is already integrated into the system, which means that you're not having to submit your claims through a clearinghouse, a third-party clearinghouse, just so that it gets to Blue Cross Blue Shield, or submit it to some third-party clearinghouse just so that it gets over to Medicare. Literally, ours is almost, it happens so quickly and internally. It's as though that you're going real time to Medicare, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Cigna, Aetna, all these insurance companies right off the bat. You're not having to worry about that. So the iClaim system is, again, just what you're seeing right here. You can utilize it on an Apple, you can be on a PC, you can be on the new Google PCs that are out there. Just really about any way that you have access to get the internet, you can be able to get that. Same thing with the EMRX. Now, this is more for the doctors, so it's really kind of set forth and formatted to be on an iPad, so where they can tap through it, speak into it, they can dictate their notes. It's all there. They can zip through that pretty quickly. But for the patients, they want to be able to pay their charges or schedule an appointment. Maybe they want to do an appointment check-in before they even get there. They can do all of that taken care of. They can request their medical refills right through here. They can also do, and folks, y'all all remember this from COVID, that patients couldn't go see their doctor. So what else could they do but do a telemed visit? What happened there is that so many doctors had to scramble. They had to do it through a Zoom meeting. They had to do it through FaceTime, and those are not secure. But through ours, we already have a telemed visit that's already built into the patient portal. It stays within the iClaim and EMRx system. It's all there. They can message the doctors and everything. This kind of shows you really kind of in a map here how it all works together. You got the patient portal that goes directly into the doctor's EMRx records so that the time the patient gets there, they're able to see their patients and do it quite quickly through there, and then it goes directly into the iClaim system. And I've kind of got it superimposed in there. You see the clearinghouse. Now that's not a building or anything. I just got that represented as a clearinghouse, but it's all packed into the iClaim system so that you can see it's going directly to the insurance companies once that claim is ready to be billed. So you could see that really all in one day. The patient could see the doctor submits the claim, gets it over to you. You're able to send it up to the insurance companies, and boom, voila, the doctor's getting paid sometimes within 5 days of seeing that patient. Furman's asking, what are the best options for marketing to get clients? That's where I'm going next. How about that? That's why I even asked about, say, you're just perfect on your timing there today. So let's talk about that. What's the perfect way to market to some of the doctors? Well, first of all, we have all of the different services that you can market to doctors. We're going to go through this in detail of basically how you get out to marketing to doctors. First of all, once you become a part of American Business Systems, you are going to get a couple of boxes delivered to your home. What's going to be in those boxes are all of your marketing material. Now, I say all of it. Your first part of your marketing material, you're going to have all your Audit Guard flyers, your iClaim flyers, your EMRx flyers, revenue cycle management flyers, everything that hopefully I'll show you here in just a moment. Now, it's going to have a spot there that's open, but you're going to get a certificate as well that once you're ready and you've got your logo ready and you want to put everything you want to put on these, you're going to get a new shipment of all these flyers with all of that printed on there directly from the people that actually create these flyers for us. So you're getting it branded basically for you. So to have your branding, your contact information, your MIRMA logo on there, showing that you're part of MIRMA and you're a certified medical revenue manager, CMRM. So you can put all of that on here. So that's one way. But really, just knowing that you've got auditing services to push out to these doctors, because remember, this whole one that talks about do doctors go through audits? They go through audits 3 or 4 or 5 times a year. And really what they're looking for are doctors that are consistently billing out their highest code all the time. Now, obviously, for U.S. taxpayers and people that have to deal with Medicare, they want to make sure that these doctors are staying within the limits that they're supposed to be. So, sometimes the doctors get their money clawed back from Medicare or from some of these other insurance companies. So, why not just do that for them? You can run a preliminary audit on these doctors. You can do that even before they're even starting to do billing for you. That might be one of the door opening services that you do. Talk about a great door opening service, and one I like to open up with. And people have asked me, have you ever owned a medical billing company? I've owned 2 of them. And so one of the ways that I did a lot of my marketing, I went in to say, hey, I'd like to come in and speak with your HIPAA compliancy officer. Now, you would have thought I'd shown up as I thought maybe from the FBI or something or some other law enforcement agency. I was just there just to kind of find out who it is, because guess what they're having to do right now, getting ready for 2024. They have to rewrite all of their new stuff. They got to make sure they get all their people back through training for a new set of compliancy rules and regulations. And so I like leading out with this. This is how I would market. You can use this, you can market through this the entire year. And that is make sure that these doctors are staying HIPAA compliant, because this is one of those issues here. Obviously, if something goes wrong at the doctor's office, this is where the doctors can really take a financial hit. Same thing with Choice Pay. Choice Pay and Quick Collect. I'm going to put both of those kind of here, where right there. Kind of goes going back and forth between those two. Both of these are collecting basically what you think of maybe money that is needed to pay over time. Obviously, after the first of the year, deductibles are going to be come in again. Sometimes these deductibles are going to be high. The patient can't pay them all at once. So let's put them on a payment plan. This is what Choice Pay does, and it does it without any interest for the patient, and it keeps that cash flow coming in for that doctor. Quick Collect is a little bit for a little bit older money. Maybe some of these patients are a little bit behind on getting some things done. And instead of sending these patients to a collection agency, which just really ruins the doctor-patient relationship, let's put them on a service that's a little bit easier to help these doctors get their what's really, again, owed to them. Remember, your medical revenue cycle management company, and that's what you're trying to put together, is making sure that the revenue keeps coming in, because I promise you there are areas where this is stopped or slowed down, and this is what you're able to do there. So again, to kind of go back and answer that question about what are the ways to market, we spent, again, on another webinar, just an entire webinar on what it means or what you're going to have to do to really be successful in marketing. I may end the year with that webinar, which will be not next Wednesday, but the following Wednesday, just to kind of get the year kicked off well. And so some of you that are really getting ready to get started, I may kind of sneak in a last minute help with that there. All right, training support or support for your training. This is where you're going to get a lifetime of support from us. This is not something that's just a one-time off where you're going to have access to get 5 or 10 calls and that's it, and you're limited to that. But you're going to need the support. If you'll go back, and I'm going to show you where to get some of these older webinars from. But if you'll write this down, write down the name Tim Warren. Tim Warren. It's just spelled just like what you think of, Warren, Tim Warren. And just go type that into the search engine, into where we have our webinars. He is the director and VP of director for support here at American Business Systems. I did a webinar with him, and you would be surprised just to listen to that webinar how robust our support system is. And it's not just, again, like I said, you got 2 or 3 calls, but on the 4th call, you have to pay $250 an hour. That's not here. Or we give you a year of support, and then if you want additional support, it's going to be more than that. There are folks here that have worked our support line and to keep us going, and we help keep them going. So we're here to help you. We're also here to support you with your doctors, especially whenever you got a doctor that's ready to come on board with you. You're going to need to know what to do to get that doctor up and going. So we would have our trained professionals help assist you with that to help you get your doctors up and going. So you don't even have to worry about that. Plus, again, I've mentioned all the professional marketing materials that you're getting with us. Now, these are postcards. Now, one of the services that I mentioned earlier is called AutoCard. This is what AutoCard is. Now, these are real live cards, or the cards that you would normally get in the mail. These are not e-cards. These are postcards that you can start with what we consider to be a drip campaign. We can show you how to do that. Very effective whenever it comes to marketing. Then plus you got all the marketing materials. And again, these are all the different ones that we have. You're going to get over 2,000 pieces of marketing materials to help get you supported out there. Then we've got a lifetime of training videos. Remember, I told you there's this whole library of recorded webinars that we have done weekly, every week, for prospects like yourself that you can go back and you can rewatch. But then there's training videos that we've done already for our business owners. We've got a whole category and catalog of all of that. Plus, you're going to have lifetime membership within our private Facebook group. Here's where you get a lot of help too. These are people that are actually doing the medical billing, maybe already out there trying to promote their business with some of the same types of doctors that you're trying to do. And this is where you can go in there and have some chats with folks and say, hey, I'm in this zip code and I'm trying to get to these doctors. I might want to target cardiologists, or I want a podiatry, or maybe a different types of a specialty out there. But this is what's going to help you to become even better at what you do. Plus, again, your website is professionally done. There are templates already, but then you get to go and kind of craft it yourself. Now, one thing you don't have to do is write all the content. That's usually where people get so bogged down whenever it comes to websites. And it's right at this point that, man, people just lose interest because they don't know what to say about themselves. We've already got all that built in there for you. And then lastly, we've got a private support portal. This is going to help you that whenever you do go through each of those modules that I showed you, those 10 modules in your live training, your one-on-one training, we already have some of those recorded for you as well. So if you need to go back and review and rehearse one of those are all on there. Now this website stays up to date all the time, because this is where we're adding new services. And yes, once you become an ABS licensee here or an ABS business owner with us, if we bring in any new services, you're already grandfathered in those, so you never have to pay extra for any of the newer services. Plus, if we've got those new services, you need training for those. This is where a lot of the training happens for those. But then we have trainings all the time for our business owners already. And we try to do 1 or 2 of those a month. And then, so those, if you ever missed any of those, obviously you would have missed some already from this year. You could certainly go back over there and grab all of that. Here's just some more of the automated marketing system. Here's some of those drip campaigns I was telling you about through the audit card auto card service there, and then some of the virtual trainings parts of it there. Now, I'm going to end up here. Like I said, folks, we're just about at the end. We've got just about a little over 7 minutes left here before the top of the hour. But I want to kind of go over a few frequently asked questions. I think we've answered all the questions so far, and I want to make sure that you can kind of see some of the questions that have been asked in the past, and it may not have occurred to you to ask these. Maybe you have, and you just didn't type them in yet. But let's talk about how long do I have access to the course? Well, folks, you have a lifetime of access to the course. The reason we do that is because inevitably something usually happens. You want to get started in this business. You're excited about getting the business going. And you get started in the course, and maybe something happens. Maybe a child gets sick, or you got to just put this on hold for whatever reason. You never expire with your course here. You may only have to put it on pause for 2 or 3 days, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. You may have to put it off for 2 or 3 months. Don't worry about it. When you're ready, you come back in, we get you going, we can start back over, we can kind of pick up where you left off. It's just wherever you want, because again, we're not here just to take your money from you and wish you the best of luck out there. We really want to make sure that you feel part of the American business family, because that's what a lot of the business owners have become. They become family, as you'll hear next week from Jeff Bruner whenever I get to interview him. Just how much you become part of the ABS family here, and then you yourself start to be able to help other people here. But folks, you'll always have lifetime access to the course. And if once you get through with the training and you're maybe struggling, and you could come back and say, hey, Tim, I've watched those videos again. I remember what was told to me on my live training class. It just ain't clicking yet. We'll take the time and make sure we'll kind of evaluate where you are, audit some of the things that you're currently doing, get you back through the course if you need to get back through it. That's why this is part of your lifetime of support. We want you to be successful. When does the course start and finish? The course starts now and it never ends because it's basically a self-paced online course. Now, it's not online as you think of. It's just, ABS is going to send me a link and I've got to sit there and watch it. And I don't know if you've ever been a part of any of those types of trainings. You kind of go, man, when's this course going to end? No, this is like we're doing today. You have someone live with you. It'll be like on our Zoom meetings that we have here, and they're going to make sure that you stay awake. That's for sure. They're going to make sure, and so we'll start and we'll finish whenever you decide you want to finish, and that's what we're here to kind of make sure that you help going on there. And then lastly, what if I'm unhappy with my purchase, or I'm unhappy with the course? I just didn't feel like I'm getting anything that Eric said. My business coach just didn't, told me that I was supposed to get this grand thing out of all this training, and it's just not happening or whatever. So here's our commitment to you. We don't want you to feel like you got taken to the cleaners or anything else. We want to make sure that once you finish your training, you still have a couple of weeks to still decide whether you want to stay in this business or not. So we have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you decide at any time that you feel like this is not for you, you simply ask for your money back. Folks, I'll tell you, I've been in this business opportunity world for quite some time now, and I've never seen another business opportunity or franchise that would give you this type of guarantee, that once you sign the contract and you put your money down and you started doing their training, that you ever have an opportunity to get your money back. We do. We want to make sure that you're a happy purchaser, because you're not just purchasing anything from us, you're investing in yourself. We want to make sure that you're happy with your own investment. That's what we want to do. So again, should a lack of experience hold you back? Hopefully we've answered that question. That's no, it shouldn't hold you back. Doesn't mean that there's not any fear there, but it certainly shouldn't hold you back. Again, this 30-day money back guarantee I've already shared with you about. Before I go on for some next steps, let me kind of take care of some housekeeping here. There's a couple of questions that have come in. Van says, I saw that there are some medical billing businesses for sale. When it comes down, I cannot do it anymore or go a different business. Can I sell my business if I have built in enough clients? You bet. Yeah, this is your business. Remember, that's the beauty of it not being a franchise. You're not going to go back to the franchisor and say, hey, I'm ready to get out of it. Can you help me sell my business to somebody? If you got clients, that money's coming in, and you just decided, look, I'm retiring for good, you can sell that business. You bet you can. Furman says, productive session. Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate the feedback there. Let's talk about your next steps here. There is a research guide. Now, I didn't talk about it earlier on. There's actually two things that you can get right now. If you go to our website, up at the top right-hand corner, there is a big button that says 5 Secrets to Success. You can go grab that, download it, get that looking, but ask for your business coach and get the research guide. It's about a 60-page research guide that you're going to want to grab and have part of your library. I've already mentioned a couple of times about browsing our YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/YABS. There is where we've collected all of our past webinars. It's here for you to kind of go through that. Remember, I mentioned to go find Tim Warren's interview, go watch that. If you want to talk with other business people now that have been in the medical billing business, ask for an owner's reference list. Just call your business coach here. Say, hey, I want to talk to those that are in medical billing that went through American Business Systems training. I want to see if they're still in it. Give that reference list, give them a call. Matter of fact, like I said, next week I'm going to be interviewing one of those. So you might want to just wait to hear Jeff and maybe call Jeff after the webinar next week. I've already mentioned a couple of times to sign up and get a live demonstration. There's no cost. There's no obligation to take these demos. If you want to do one, you want to do two, that's up to you. You can do as many as you want to. I'm sure your business coach here will be happy to help make sure that you've got taken care of. Then just ask again for your business coach here, ask for the link to get the purchase agreement, review that purchase agreement. I always like to kind of say on the first page of that agreement is the money back guarantee. So you're going to want to see that. It's right there on the front page. Hasn't ever moved from that front page, never will move from that front page. It's on the front page for a reason, because we stand behind what we say there. And then finally, get your funding, get your training set up. Folks, we're here to help you get started as early as next week. I believe we got some spots ready to go there. If you got any questions here, call us 866-565-8413. We'll be happy to kind of help you. If you don't know who your business coach is, give us a call here. We'll make sure. Ryan's asking, can ABS serve both medical and dental offices? Yes, we have a medical billing platform. We have a dental platform, billing platform there as well. It's called Dynamax. If you need that, just get with us on that. Dan, it's good. I appreciate the questions that you came in with. Hopefully this was an hour. Like I said, wasn't this a fast hour? I told you. You didn't think you could probably sit through and listen to one guy talk for an hour. Usually after this, I have to go get a glass of water and just relax, kick my feet up, and enjoy the rest of this evening. And I hope that you want to do the same thing, folks. Let me just share with you again from the ABS family, because we are family. We're family here. We love each other. As you can tell, not only are we just family, Adam works here. Patrick, has handed it off to him. This has been a family business. We treat everybody as family here. We want to treat you as family right now, even though that you haven't purchased with it. We want to make sure that you feel comfortable with us as we are today. And so give us a call. We'll spend as much time as we need to be with you. And again, from a heartfelt, from the Patrick Phillips family, the Adam family here, Adam Phillips family here, we want to just tell you again, we wish you the best of the holidays. We wish you the best of the first of the year. We really do appreciate every time that you spend a Wednesday afternoon with us. Folks, just enjoy this time with family, with friends, as you kind of look back over 2023, and you kind of think, well, do I want 2024 to look like 2023? Listen, I'm looking for, hopefully, for a better 2024 than what 2023 was in all aspects of my life. So there's so many things I want to do differently, and things I want to do, places I want to go, and people I want to love. So we encourage you to do the same thing here. So hopefully you'll get a hint from us here that we're really here for you. Ryan says, thanks for all the information you gave us today. It's a pleasure. I appreciate your time being with us. Folks, again, you just give us a call here at 866-565-8413. Appreciate your time. Don't forget to sign up for next Wednesday's webinar. I'll be interviewing Jeff Bruner. It'll be a great time to spend with one of our ABS business owners, and you'll get a kick to visit with Jeff as we kind of close out this year. Listen, give us a call if you got any questions, and we'll look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Good night, everybody.